My wife's glasses exposed her cheating, so I blindsided her by selling the house and serving her divorce papers. I, 36M, am married to Joanna, 34F, for about 6 years. I work for a construction company in project management, which means I'm away for work pretty often, usually about a month at a time twice a year. Joanna used to tell me she understood travel was part of my job, and for years I thought we were a strong, trusting couple and could have a good life together. Turns out I was way off. This whole nightmare started during my last work trip, and it came crashing down, thanks to a video call and the dang reflection in her glasses. Yep, glasses. Let me tell you how it went down. It was my second week away on this trip, and Joanna and I were doing our usual video calls every night to stay connected. She'd usually fill me in on the small stuff, work drama, neighborhood gossip, whatever was going on at home. I always loved these calls. They kept us close even when I was far away. One night while we were on our call, I noticed something strange in the background. Out of nowhere, a guy whom I only know by face walks into our house. He just strolls in through the front door without even knocking, no hesitation, no announcement, nothing. The guy saw she was on a video call and backed off. He fled as if he was caught in an act. Joanna jumped out from the couch upon hearing the door get shut and swiftly disconnected the call. I immediately called her back and asked what just happened. She seemed flustered but tried to maintain her composure and replied, "Oh, that's Rick. You know him, right?" I replied, "Yes, I know him. He's our neighbor. What the hell was he doing here at this hour?" It was almost 10. She shrugged it off, saying he probably just needed to borrow something. She brushed it off like it was no big deal, just some guy from next door who was friendly enough to walk right in. I asked her how he got so comfortable that he could just barge into our house without knocking, as if it were his own. She snapped at me, saying I was making a big deal out of it. He was just a neighbor who happened to be her gym partner, and that's how they became friends. I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just a casual neighbor visit. It threw me, but I let it slide for the moment. I didn't want to overthink while I was miles away. 2 days later, she felt sick and took off from work to relax. I had a free afternoon, so I called her to kill my time. We were on a call when the doorbell rang. She hurriedly went to answer it. I heard some whispering in the background. When she came back, she looked a little bit off. Her hair was also open and messed up, as if someone had stroked it. Before that, she was in a neat ponytail. I remember it vividly because I like the way she ties her hair. I know a lot of guys like women with open hair, but not me. So whenever she would tie it in this particular way, I felt head over heels. I asked her, "What's up?" At first, she said nothing and picked up the topic where we left off. I stopped her and asked who was at the door. Her response was, "Oh yeah, door. There was this group raising money for charity," and she again continued to talk about some random stuff. I circled back to the question again. "Which charity group? Did you give them money?" She named a charity and said she gave them $100. She was fumbling and rolling her open locks, which was very unusual of her. Her discomfort was all across her body language, but she tried hard to put on a normal face and talk. But then she made a mistake. She was wearing her glasses, these new ones she'd just gotten with big lenses. As she was talking to me, she looked up straight across the laptop, and I noticed something in the reflection. I squinted, trying to make it out, and there he was, Rick, the same guy. This time he was standing right in front of her, grinning like a smug jerk, teasing her, pouting, and giving flying kisses to distract her. I quickly switched off my video camera, saying there was a poor connection so she wouldn't see the shock on my face. Then I swiftly pulled out my phone and started recording it. I could barely keep my hand steady, but I somehow managed to keep my voice calm. You won't believe what happened next. That son of a witch started undressing himself. I froze, my stomach in knots, my whole body went cold, my face neutral. She was quiet, too, her focus was entirely on the jerk's body. I mustered the courage and asked her if everything was okay. She looked at the laptop screen and said with a broad smile, "Oh yeah, just a bit of a headache. I think I need to lie down soon." She looked me right in the eyes through that screen and lied straight to my face with her naked piece of junk in my bedroom. She had no idea I'd seen him in the reflection of her glasses. It felt like a punch to the gut. There was my wife, lying to me with the same sweet, innocent face she'd always had, while her lover stood naked in front of her, acting like he owned the place. I couldn't bear it any longer. I disconnected the call. I wished I could rush home and shoot that in the head. In a moment of desperation, I hailed a cab to the airport. I tried booking the first flight home, only to realize that by the time I reached home, the guy would be done doing my wife, and my wish of catching him in the act was unreasonable. Then something in me snapped, and I wished to go nuclear on my revenge. I stopped the cab midway and walked back to the hotel, contemplating my next move. That whore was cheating on me in my own house, the house I bought before we even met. I built this life for us, and she was treating it like her house, like she could do whatever she wanted behind my back. I knew I could have confronted her right then, but after that blatant lie, the way she acted so casual, I wanted her to feel the kind of shock and betrayal I was feeling. I wanted her to realize that everything she took for granted could disappear just like that. I made my plan, and I'm executing it bit by bit. Sorry, I'm too emotionally drained to write further. I'll save that for the next post if I'm in the mood to write it. Even this one took me 2 days to write. I thought maybe venting would help. Thanks for reading it, if anyone came this far.